Metro Boomin is arguably the top producer in the entire game. Every time you hear one of his iconic producer tags, it basically became a stamp of quality. However, what made his success in recent years even more incredible is that he's achieved it during the lowest moment of his entire life. Because even though his professional accomplishments are important to him, he'd give it all up just to have one person back in his life. My name is Luesta, and today we're looking at how Metro Boomin turned tragedy into triumphs. Over the course of an iconic run at the top of the pecking order of producers, Metro has become one of the biggest names to ever sit behind the boards. Over the years, he's worked with so many megastars that he even has a hard time giving you the full list of who's graced one of his trademark beats.
Name some of the artists you work with for those that don't know.
Future, of course. Thug, 21 Savage, Travis Scott, Drake, Kanye.
Drake. What's crazy is that barely even skims the surface of the legends he's tapped in with. Possessing more platinum plaques at 29 years old than most people obtain over a 3-decade career, Metro is truly one of the best to ever load up Fruity Loops and try to make a beat. But this whole journey might have looked very different if it weren't for his mom, Leslie Wayne. And unfortunately for Metro, she would become his greatest influence and motivator both in life and death. When Metro talks about his origins as a producer, the story goes that it all started when he was in middle school.
Playing music my whole life, so growing up, I always wanted to be a rapper at first. In order to do that, I needed some beats, so I started to make my own beats. And at that time, I was 13, even seeing the success of Soulja Boy and making his own beats, it was like, it's possible. 10th grade, I started to get some traction with people online and out of town, started making trips to Atlanta.
Considering he was only 15 years of age at the time, getting there from St. Louis would have been impossible without someone in his corner. It was his mom who was his chaperone on early trips to the A before the whole family would eventually move down there.
I remember when I was in prison, I was reading the Fader magazine, I was reading about how Metro mom used to take him all the way to Atlanta. The article came out like 2016, I'm in the penitentiary, I'm reading that shit, and you just was like, man, I'm out here, I'm grinding, man, we getting down here, we going to fuck to the A to make it happen, and now we done made beats for everybody.
But while that was a selfless move from his mom, this wasn't the only way that she influenced his career. As a matter of fact, if it wasn't for Metro being so determined to get her on his team, he might never have tried his hand at making beats in the first place.
Being a rapper back then, or saying you want to be a rapper back then, is not the same as today.
No.
Back then you say that, your mama, your grandmama, aunties, they're like, what are you talking about? Go to school, you tripping, type shit. I had kind of finessed it to ease it in, and I would always just tell them I want to be a music producer.
How old is Metro? Actually, I'm curious. He's like 30 something, right? Yeah, he's 31. Damn. People really don't appreciate him, I swear.
Knowing that his mom wanted to make good on his potential, Leslie later revealed in an interview with The Fader that a young Metro really put the work in to convince her that the dream was feasible. I came home from work and he was waiting for me, ready for a business meeting, she said in 2015. He had a green folder with information on all the people he wanted to work with. He printed it out from the internet and he left me with the folder overnight so I could go through it. He was so prepared. Now that she was convinced to make the grueling 17-hour round trips with him every weekend, Leslie became a part of the hip-hop scene too. And once he signed up to Morehouse College to study business, she and the whole fam moved down. We wasn't smoking in the studio back then because his mom was coming in, said OJ the Juice Man of those early sessions. Although his mom initially tried to keep him in college, the success of his work on tracks like Future's Karate Chop and seeing the impact his tracks had on the city meant that
he was really collabing people early, bro.
Even though she didn't necessarily agree,
when I heard of Metro, it was the Tuesday. That one dude in Drake. That's when I heard of it. That was what, 2014? But I didn't hear a Metro, but that was the first I heard any kind of Metro work. I was 4 at the time. Barely knew who the fuck Drake was, but I just knew the song.
Supported him, and according to Metro, it was Leslie who always told him not to sell his masters and keep as much ownership of his music as he could.
When I was young, and I always said I want to be in music. Before I even knew what masters was or your masters was, my mama growing up, she always would never sell your masters. She always said it forever.
What
never even knew what that shit was back then.
Despite Leslie's concerns, Metro's gamble clearly paid off. From his work on classics like Savage Mode and Without Warning, to his own star-studded debut project, Not All Heroes Wear Capes, Metro went from a talented outsider to the most sought-after producer in hip-hop. He even launched his own label, Boomin Worldwide, in 2018. Interestingly, it was around this time that Metro decided to sit back for a couple of years. Because after having such a high degree of success, the last thing he wanted to do was let his sound get played out.
It was strategic fall back, but you know, the world don't know your plan. So a fall back will look like a fall off. You know what I'm saying?
You know what you're doing.
But of course I knew what I was doing.
Make yourself exclusive.
Yo, that's low-key facts.
What always happened. Like I said, I'm still in the game where I study this shit to a T, dot to I, like study this shit. So it's like, it's always, there'll be a hot producer, and of course you get on, and all these people are calling you, all the biggest are, everybody's calling you. Of course you're gonna pick up for everybody. Of course you're gonna try to do everything, but it's like they just use you up, burn you.
I just put on deodorant right in front of you, Flash. You literally look like my actual nutsack.
You up, burn everything out, and just like, all right, what's next? You know, and I didn't want that to happen.
Although he went as far
I thought I
as to
just
call
flamed his ass.
Himself retired for a little while, Metro eventually came back in 2020 with the commercial and critical success of Savage Mode 2.
Actually, I don't really know much Metro shit from like 2019, so it actually kind of makes sense now I think about it.
Before teasing his own solo return throughout 2021. But while he was preparing to return to the game with a new album, his life would be shattered by a senseless crime.
TMZ is reporting the mother of a St. Louis producer and rapper is dead after an apparent murder-suicide in Atlanta. Leland Wayne, known as Metro Boomin, thanked him.
Yo. Lord forgive me. Lord forgive me for flaming this fucking kid again. I literally just put deodorant on. Flash edits. You have 9 fucking subscribers. Your profile picture is a fucking, like, look at you. Dude.
Hello. This is me. This is what I look like.
No one wants to see what you look like with your dumb ass, your stinky ass, your haircut fucked up, bro. Don't even talk to me. Your eyes are literally crossed. I look like Santa Claus, autistic asshole. Don't even. I'm sorry. Lord forgive me. Lord forgive me.
His mother for his entry into the music business, about her loss to the community and the young entertainer.
Rest in peace, Metro's mother.
Friday in Atlanta, according to TMZ, at the hands of her husband, who took his own life thereafter.
In June of 2022, Metro lost his biggest inspiration when Leslie was killed by his stepfather before he later turned the weapon on himself.
I didn't even know that. I just thought she died.
As soon as the news broke, the rap community paid tribute to his mom and let Metro know
Raise your hair. I don't have a big forehead or anything, so you can't do shit. Your haircut look like my fucking pubes, so don't even talk to me. Lower your tone when you're in my presence, little ass boy.
they were all
as I'm in the midst of applying for residency right now.
They got scared to do shit, and clearly you got a lot of fucking. Clearly you're not scared
Grammarly
to do
has
shit.
again been a lifesaver with my application.
Got a big ass fucking ego, be looking like that talking to me.
In addition to his fellow artists expressing their concern, his fans did too, saying things like, "Man, I hope he's doing okay, especially the way she passed away." Suddenly left without one person who believed in him like no other, Metro went quiet until July, when he finally spoke out with a simple message to
You got a girl? I know you don't got a girl. First of all, I've been with many women in my life. I'm staying alone right now. You wanna know why? I was in a relationship maybe 3 weeks ago. Staying alone right now. You wanna know why? Because I'm focused on the grind. I'm focused on the bag. I'm focused on the paper. I'm focused on y'all. I'm focused on myself. If I want to get a relationship, I could. Flash, clearly you don't got a girl. You probably never even felt the touch of a fucking female. Yo, stinky ass. No one wants to go fucking around you.
to his followers.
Back to Metro.
Please love and appreciate your parents while they are here. He wrote on IG.
That is
I'd give
facts.
anything in the world to speak to my mom again. Crying every day is the new normal.
All you gotta do is go on every live stream and you will see girls calling me fine. Okay? I bet a girl's ever called you fine in your life. Only girl that's ever called you handsome is your goddamn grandmother.
Of 2022, he would pour his heart out.
Check, can y'all flame him? Because I'm trying to watch this video. Can y'all flame him?
Still is my best friend in the universe. And anybody who really knows me
Yo,
knows
Nat, I'll
I've
react to the
always been
edit
a
after
mama's
this.
boy my whole life. This gotta be what hell feel like, cause it's like my soul just burning and everything around me constantly burning. Even though his heart was breaking, Metro knew that Leslie Wayne didn't raise a quitter. She raised a fighter. She raised a fighter who would bring his dreams to life no matter what he was feeling. With the help of some real friends,
man.
Metro began building what would become a landmark moment in his career. career with 2022's Heroes and Villains, a record which would go on to outstream records including
Outstanding
Drake
album.
and 21 Savage's Her Loss. In every way,
Crazy
it was an album that
album.
was born out of the most difficult period of his life,
Should've
and
won a
with the help
Grammy.
of his aunt, he realized that he had to use the anguish
Or
he felt
Utopia.
as fuel for the art.
But
She
not
was
Killer
like,
Mike
everything
Hill,
you're
I
feeling
guess.
right now, you could channel that. That's when a lot of the most impactful art and music has ever been made. As beautiful as that was from his family member, the fact that he almost lost it because of Gunna's clumsiness didn't really help.
Me and Gunna in the studio. And I had my laptop, it was my Windows one right here. And I had like this shirt jacket type thing on, but he had a cup by the laptop. And I got up to like turn around and do something, and it knocked. The whole cup over my whole keyboard, computer, everything. I turn around and it's just drank all over.
You telling me to clean my
whole
room?
computer.
My room is
And this is
clean
why
as
I'm working
shit.
on Heroes though. While I'm working on it, a
Ah,
lot of
the
shit is
clothing
on there,
rack?
So like, where I felt like I was
My
dying
background
right
is an
now.
After
Eminem
all of the
in my
agony
bed.
and moments of indecision he
Whose
felt
room
on the
ain't
road
clean?
to releasing the project,
who
it
you talking
definitely
to?
paid off.
I
Seen
know it
as
ain't
one
me,
of the
bro.
best albums of the year and a record that helped bring the trap sound out of its funk, Metro was at the top of the game once again.
Nah,
But
that album was
still,
crazy.
he carried the pain with him even as he obtained the greatest successes of his career. And even as everyone praised the record, the only approval he really wanted was his mom's. Instead of being able to talk to her, he shared some of the encouraging texts she'd sent before she tragically passed on. Take your time, son. Give your best to your own. Show them you are still number one and that no shade can hide your shine. Let them shake hands with the reality of number two. Boom. Although he rightfully claimed his spot back at the top just as his mom predicted,
So
Metro
I
never
hope
let
he's
her
not
leave his
talking about
mind
me.
or even his neck thanks
My
to a
room
new
is
chain.
literally
Rather than let the
fucking clean.
sadness overtake him, Metro continued to throw himself into his work and executively produced an album of music for Spider-Man
Yeah,
across
you
the
see, this is why I love my viewers right here. This is why I love my supporters. They can handle my dirty work for me. Oh, and the Spider-Man soundtrack. I look-y forgot about that.
Spider-Verse that peaked at number 5 on the Billboard
Damn, I
chart.
forgot about that album.
But
That
as
was
his
good,
success
bro.
continued to grow, he wanted to
No,
pay
I miss
homage
you,
to
though,
the
bro.
person
Hold on.
that got him there. And as a result, he launched what is now known as Single Moms Are Superheroes,
What's your
an
favorite
annual
class?
celebration
Why
in
are
his
you trying
hometown
to
of
be-
St. Louis, which
why are you
pays
trying to be-
tributes to parents just like Leslie. But that wasn't all, as this act of kindness led to the creation of Metro Boomin Day in his hometown.
forgot
Celebrated
he
for his
did that.
prestigious accomplishments and contributions to the music industry, this was understandably an emotional time for Metro. And once again, he traced it all back to Leslie's shining example. I'm really her junior. I feel like when people see me, they see her, whether they realize it or not. In addition to the principles she gave him to live with, the choice to take his mom's advice and abstain from letting anyone else own his masters would pay off in 2023, when he sold a portion of his publishing catalog to Shamrock Holdings for $70 million. Now leading the charge for hip-hop production once again, Metro is in a position where he can keep doing what made his mom and his loved ones so proud. And by the looks of it, that's exactly what he's focused on.
Respect to Metro, low key. He really been through it all, but he's still kicking. One of the greatest, definitely. Okay, honestly, I would probably say was good too high. One of the greatest producers of the 2010s decade and 2020s. Like, and y'all know I love your content. You trying to be civil with me now? You trying to be civil with me? After we just flame your ass. I appreciate it, though.
What do I want Metro Boomin's legacy to be? I want it to be just known in the undisputed fact that I put 1,000% of my effort
Metro
in
Boomin,
every time.
exactly,
no
bro.
matter the result, you know, and you could hear and tell, like, yo, there's effort and thought into this.
Most songs on my playlist are produced by Metro. I can't even lie.
Who inspired a lot of us. You're young, you're watching this, or even if you're not young, you're watching this, I'll say, stay down, run your own race. Keep your morals intact. Just stay down and be patient.
Metro one wise motherfucker. Even though he just be on the drums, he don't even be talking. He one wise ass motherfucker. Good video. Good video. W. Yo, can I like it? Thank you. Okay.